Stop counting your steps. Seriously, take off the pedometer and ignore the ring on your smartwatch. Because if you are relying on 10,000 steps a day to save your life or melt your belly fat, you are playing a biological game designed for you to lose. We have been sold a comfortable lie by the billion-dollar fitness industry. The lie is that all movement equals progress. The lie is that blindly walking through the park is the same as moving with intention. It is not. The 10,000 step rule itself is nothing but a marketing gimmick. It was created in the 1960s by a Japanese clockmaker who needed a catchy name for a new pedometer. It was never based on clinical research. Yet millions of people treat it as the gold standard for health, acting like a placebo that tricks you into thinking you are making progress while your waistline expands. The brutal truth is that your body is the most efficient survival machine on the planet. It is designed to hoard energy, not waste it. When you walk the way 99% of people walk, which is distracted, slouched, and slow, your body enters efficiency mode. It burns almost nothing. It protects your fat stores like a miser protects gold. But there is a back door. A specific metabolic state where the body has no choice but to unlock the vault. Today, we are not just going to talk about walking. We are going to decode the biochemical reactions happening at the cellular level. We are going to dismantle the 10,000 step myth and replace it with a protocol based on clinical research in mitochondrial density and lipid oxidation. If you are tired of putting in the miles and seeing zero change in the mirror, this is the missing manual you never received. Let us get into it. To understand why your daily walk is silently destroying your progress, you have to understand the hybrid engine concept. Your body is a dual-fuel vehicle. Fuel source number 1 is glucose. This is sugar. It is stored in your liver and muscles as glycogen. It is cheap, it burns fast, and it is meant for emergencies. Think of it like rocket fuel. You use it to run from a tiger or to sprint to catch a bus. Fuel source number 2 is lipids, which is fat. This is your reserve tank. It burns slow, it burns hot, and it is nearly infinite. Even a lean person has enough body fat to walk for weeks without eating. Here is the trap. Most people spend their entire lives stuck in sugar mode, even when they exercise. When you go for a jog and you are panting heavily, breathing through your mouth, your body senses high stress. It thinks you are running from a predator. So what does it do? It shuts down fat burning. It reinforces the physiological barriers of your fat cells because fat takes too long to break down in an emergency. Instead, it dumps sugar into your blood for quick energy. You finish your run, you are exhausted, and you have not burned a single ounce of body fat. In fact, because you burn so much sugar, your brain screams at you to eat carbohydrates immediately to replenish the tank. This is why high-intensity cardio makes you so incredibly hungry. You are blindly reinforcing a cycle of starvation and storage. But the horrifying truth is, it does not stop there. The chronic elevation of stress hormones from this type of mismatched exercise creates a neurotoxin effect over time, leading to systemic inflammation. Your microbiome suffers, your neurons are flooded with anxiety signals, and your body clings to visceral fat as a protective shield. We need to flip the switch. We need to move in a way that signals safety, not danger. Right now, we need to talk about the golden window. In clinical physiology, we call this the zone of maximal fat oxidation. Imagine a candle. If you blow on it too hard, the flame goes out. If you do not give it enough oxygen, it smokes. You need the perfect steady stream of air to keep the wax melting. Your fat is the wax. Oxygen is the air. To burn fat, you need massive amounts of oxygen delivered to your cells without spiking your heart rate into the panic zone. This creates a biochemical miracle where your body feels safe enough to release its most valuable asset, So how do you find this exact zone without a $500 clinical research test? We use the sentence test. When you go for your walk tomorrow, I want you to talk to yourself or call a friend. If you can speak in a complete paragraph without gasping for air, but you would struggle to whistle a tune, you are there. If you can whistle, you are walking too slow. That is just transportation. If you cannot finish a sentence, you are going too fast. That is sugar burning. You want to be right on the edge of discomfort. You should feel heat building in your body. You should feel a slight need for air, but you are in total control. This creates a biological signal that tells your mitochondria that we are moving, we need energy, but we are safe. That safety signal is the key that unlocks the fat cells. Now, let us upgrade the hardware. The reason you struggle to lose weight is not just about calories. It is about mitochondrial dysfunction. Mitochondria are the power plants inside your cells. They are the furnaces that burn the fat. Sedentary people have weak, tiny, effortless mitochondria. Athletes have dense, robust mitochondria. Here is the secret. Low-intensity, steady-state walking in this specific zone triggers a process called mitochondrial biogenesis. You literally grow more furnaces. By walking correctly for 45 to 60 minutes, you are not just burning calories for that hour. You are building a bigger engine. You are activating a cleanup machine that will reset your metabolism. This means that 6 months from now, you will burn more fat while you are sleeping, simply because you have built the molecular biology to do so. It is the ultimate way to reverse aging from the inside out. But simply walking at one pace is not enough for the modern world. We need to accelerate the process. We need to awaken the system. We need Protocol Alpha, the incline variance. Biomechanically, flat ground is easy. Your body utilizes elastic recoil, basically the springiness of your tendons, to bounce you forward. It is cheating. To strip off visceral belly fat, the dangerous fat around your organs, we need to remove the bounce. We need dead weight. This is where the incline comes in. You do not need to run. You just need to find a hill or set your treadmill to a 10 or 12% incline. Why? Because walking uphill eliminates the braking force. When you walk on flat ground, every step is a mini brake. When you walk uphill, every step is a concentric contraction. It requires pure muscular force from the glutes and hamstrings. This does two critical things. First, it doubles the caloric demand without the impact of running. Second, and this is the craziest part, it engages the largest muscle groups in the body, the posterior chain. The more muscle mass you engage, the more glucose receptors you activate. Even if you are not diabetic, think of your muscles as a sponge for blood sugar. The bigger the sponge, the more you soak up. In other words, you are creating a massive sink for circulating glucose, lowering your insulin levels naturally. Try this for 20 minutes. Walk at a steep incline. Hands off the rails, never hold the rails. The fitness industry refuses to tell you this, but holding the rails reduces the caloric burn by nearly 30%. Swing your arms. Drive through the heel. You will sweat more in 20 minutes of incline walking than in an hour of flat walking, all while keeping your cortisol low. However, there is a mental component we cannot ignore. We have to discuss the dopamine detachment. Walk into any gym or look at any sidewalk. What do you see? People walking with their necks bent down, staring at a screen. Biologically, this is a disaster. When your eyes focus on a near object like a phone, your brain activates the sympathetic nervous system. It creates a tunnel vision effect that mimics anxiety. If you are walking to lower stress and burn fat, looking at your phone is counterproductive. It keeps cortisol effectively high. And as we know, cortisol promotes belly fat storage. You need optic flow. Optic flow is the visual experience of the world moving past your eyes. When you look at the horizon or look at the trees passing by in your peripheral vision, it signals the amygdala. the fear center of the brain, to calm down. It lowers breathing rates. It lowers cortisol. So the rule is simple. No screens. Audiobooks are fine. Music is fine. But your eyes must be up. Your posture must be tall. This opens the diaphragm, allows for deeper oxygen intake, and lowers the stress hormones that are holding on to your weight. Now I want to offer an alternative protocol for those who cannot walk in the morning. This is called the glucose disposal protocol. Maybe you had a heavy dinner. You feel that slump, that food coma. Most people sit on the couch. This is the worst thing you can do. When you sit, your muscles are inactive. The sugar from your meal stays in your blood, raising your insulin, leading to inflammation and fat storage. You only need 10 minutes. Walking for just 10 minutes immediately after a meal creates a sink for that glucose. Your muscles contract and suck up the sugar from the bloodstream without even needing insulin to do it. It is a non-insulin-mediated uptake. This flattens your blood sugar curve. It prevents the crash. And if you do not have a massive insulin spike, your body can get back to burning fat much sooner. 3 short 10-minute walks after breakfast, lunch, and dinner is scientifically superior to one 30-minute walk done at a random time. Timing is biology. Walking is the most underrated tool in the arsenal of human health. But we have let it become passive. We have let it become junk volume. You have the power to turn a simple stroll into a complex physiological signal that tells your body to upgrade, to lean out, and to thrive. It is time to heal at the root. You have the power to revive your metabolic health, but you have to do it with intention. Do not just walk to get to a destination. Walk to change the machine. If you found value in this deep dive into molecular biology and human physiology, do not leave without liking this video. It tells the algorithm that people want real science, not just blind trends. Subscribe to the channel to support our mission of bringing you the unvarnished truth about your health. I want to know in the comments below, do you walk in the morning or at night? And have you been making the mistake of holding the rails? Let us talk about it down below.